Hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Scissors. I'm Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, 4 crazy rescue dogs, and a rescued cat who likes to craft in her spare time. Has graduated with her degree in sign language interpreting. I have a fuzzy on my shirt. And is trying to train for Ironman. If you're new here, clearly I have ADHD. But if you're new here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It sends me a message, it boosts my serotonin and my self-esteem, and I could use both. And if you are a returning friend, I don't know what to tell you. Go ahead and hit the like. Go ahead. If you're a returning friend, I should start this over, but I'm not. If you're a returning friend, you already know the crazy info. This is just a sample of it. So go ahead and grab your drink, sit on back, and let's have it. At it. Yeah. About what you would expect. So last week I got a bunch of stuff done. I got a bunch of stuff more still to do because life. And
we're gonna try something new with the spice.
Bean is cooking dinner, and we're gonna apparently try a new spice blend. I'm okay with that.
That's what it's.
She should. Oh, okay. So here's my tidbit of the week. Our favorite is actually a seasoning called Bullshit.
And yes, you are reading the ranch's name.
There's a whole bunch of them. It's this whole series. There are different flavors for chicken.
Special,
Yeah. Chicken shit, special shit.
and they all called Big Cock Ranch.
Yeah. Ironically, by a company called Big Cock Ranch. I don't make the names up. Our favorite so far is honestly the Bullshit seasoning. My kids will put that on everything. Like any sort of protein.
Me in particular.
Fish, chicken, steak, they'll put it on anything.
Not particularly good on salmon, but
Yeah. Bean honestly likes her plain salmon, just plain. She doesn't like anything like special.
sometimes I'll do it if I'm feeling festive or something. I don't
If she's
know.
feeling festive, who knew? Okay.
That's not the word I was trying to find, but
I'm rolling with it, folks. I'm rolling with it because that's all we can do. We still have not heard either way on the job, so please keep sending the good juju. Welcome to Chaosville, home of chaos, where nothing makes sense anymore because I have children. I have children who are very much like me, and yeah. Okay, so, why don't you turn the overhead light on? Because cooking in the dark makes sense. Okay.
I only need to put it in the oven.
Okay, so, our toppers today are football. I would not recommend this topper maker at all. None of the toppers line up right.
Look at the bottom.
The magnets are set too high. And so, yeah. And I don't feel like they're big enough for the frames. It's very weird. Which is very sad because I bought several without realizing that. And that makes me kind of sad because... So I don't know. So if you have pair eyewear... which I have to order William a pair because of glasses because his are breaking. And you have a favorite topper maker, or you know how to fix these so that they sit on my glasses right, let me know. Let me know. Because I also realized that I bought a lot of summery sort of themed toppers, and I don't really have any going into like fall and winter. And that's kind of half of the fun of having these toppers. Although today so far the Lions are beating. Words are hard, y'all. See, and the magnets don't seem like they're as strong as my other ones. Okay. Words are hard. So last I listened to, the Lions are beating the Dallas Cowboys. Now, it's the Lions, so you can't get too excited because it's the Lions, and if you know, you know. So, okay. What have I been doing? Holy bat crazy. Okay, so I have been working a lot. I have been not feeling good. I met with a GI doctor on Thursday. That went fantastic. Now, my old GI doctor is now doing some sort of genetic work at U of M. So, as you guys know, I waited months for this virtual visit because if I wanted an in-person visit, it would be even longer. And I was like, I cannot wait longer. So I had my appointment on Thursday. I really like him. He listened. We talked through a bunch of stuff. He let me ask all kinds of questions about things. Said, okay, well, we can, try 2 different courses of action. One is to assume certain facts that we don't necessarily, and the other one is to wait to see if I can get in for the testing, see what the testing says, and then try what we would try. And I said, well, let's give it a go, treating it like what we think it is. And if that doesn't work, then, we'll know. He's like, if you're not feeling better within a week or 2, clearly that's not what it is, and we need to look at something else. And I said, I think that's a fair plan. And he agreed. He also let me know that there was some information in my chart that I hadn't been given before. So that was really enlightening and a little frustrating, and adds to my level of frustration. I am one that I want all of the information, good, bad, the ugly. I want it all. And part of it is because, so my neurologist and my GI doctor are at U of M, and my sleep apnea doctor is at U of M. All of my rest of my doctors are through a system called Ascension, which is now partnered with Henry Ford. So I don't know what they're calling themselves anymore. I don't know. And so those 2 systems aren't connected. So any of the information I get from U of M, I have to take back to my doctors at Ascension. Any of the Ascension information, I have to take to U of M, kind of thing. And I have to. So if I don't have information, I can't take it to other people who are also on my care team. That's a problem. So we clarified a bunch of things, got some things handled. Friday, then I went and met with a new primary care physician. I walked out of there and wanted to cry. Good tears. Also tears of anger and frustration. As you guys know, I have been less than impressed or thrilled with my primary care, and I have been looking for one, and I finally pulled the trigger and called one and set an appointment. He spent almost an hour with me, asking me we went through all of my history. We went through medical history, medicines. We talked about what I expected from him as my treating physician. We talked about, also kind of what he expected from me as his patient. We talked about what my goals for my health are, all these things. And I said to him, look, I'm not an MD, I'm a JD. And those are very different. I said, but the common denominator is that we both research the heck out of things. We question things, sometimes to our detriment, not always, but, sometimes to our benefit. And we are people who, when A plus B doesn't equal C, question that. And it's not out of disrespect, it's just how our brains are wired to take in information and needing information. So he drew some blood, and he's like, okay, so here's what our short-term plan is. He's like, I'll see you back in 2 months, but I will talk to you next week because the blood work should be back by then. We'll go over the blood work on the phone and see if we need to change what the short-term plan is. We'll meet back in like 6 to 8 weeks and start developing a more longer-term plan. The plan is to hopefully work not only with endocrinology, who he's in the same office with, my endocrinologist, to work with endocrinology very closely to help my case. And then also to reach out to my pain management doctor to hopefully figure out what we can do to strengthen my back so that I don't have to keep getting nerve ablations. Those are two huge things for me. Because my previous doctor just kept blaming everything on, well, you're diabetic. And I'm like, okay, but the endocrinologist is saying XYZ. And he's like, okay, I'm going to go with the endocrinologist. She's a specialist kind of thing. Like, so what we have found out is my gastroparesis has flared. What is looking like the case, GI has said gastroparesis has flared up. I do have celiacs, not just a gluten sensitivity. It's clearly celiac. It's not just a fad thing. And that I also have what's called SIBO, which is basically a gut colon infection, which ironically is treated with antibiotics, which is why when I'm on the antibiotics, I feel better. So we're kind of in this, okay, so we got that part. So then I got the lab work back from my doctor, and I haven't talked to him yet about it. I suspect tomorrow. But according to the printout, I am vitamin D deficient. Not surprising, it's Michigan. It's Michigan and it's already starting to be fall, and I work inside mostly, so it's not like I'm not out running or doing those things. I train inside, so I'm not getting full effect of the sun. So clearly I need to go top off with the Jeep in the sun more often. But the other scores that came back abnormal is my B, even with the injections every month, my B is barely into the normal range. So that will cause tiredness and everything. My body, the test for iron absorption, I'm not anywhere near the normal range. And my cortisol is super, super low. So it's going to be interesting to see what he says, how we address all of those. He also wrote me a referral to the dietitian, so hopefully we can get things. But I am officially down 30 pounds since the last main office visit. So, not very long time. So he was like, I'm down like 35 pounds. So he was super thrilled with that. He's like, and I go, well, yes, I've been trying, but like generally it's not happening. So we talked about that. I'm waiting on a call back from cardiology to sign off on a medicine that he says, let's try this. It's kind of old school. Rather than the new shots, he's like, he goes, you are not one that I would even attempt to try the newer shots like Wegovy or Ozempic or anything. He's like, absolutely not. Especially with your history of having gastroparesis. So overall, super, super thrilled with what we're finding out. Really thrilled with the level of care I am now getting. I always compare most of my doctors to my neurosurgeon, and I feel like I'm getting a whole team of Boyds. Boyd is my neurosurgeon's first name. And so that is exciting. So, that said, did I buy stuff? Yes, I did. Okay. So, in the mail, I got Ireland. Or no, I got Michigan. And I got Ireland. It's like, yes, I did. And I got, so I think I'm down to, I need to design Poland. And I need to find Florida. And I'm thinking I might also grab Georgia and Ohio, which are two other states I've lived in. So, yeah. But that way I would have all my honeys on my trees. So, okay. Then also, for those of you who do full coverage, if you don't do full coverage, I get it. This is not probably going to interest you. One of the places that I go to buy my full coverage is Unconventional Cross Stitch. In the past, I've only had one pattern from them. I've had Buffalo Mat, which I haven't been working on this much this year. 2025 is still going to be a year of whipping down, but also really working on full coverage, I think. Okay, so anyways, her whole house and shot, where she keeps all of her merchandise, burnt to the ground. She lost everything. So many of us have, she can still access her PDF files because they're probably in the amorphous cloud. So I did order 2 patterns that I've been holding off on ordering, but I thought, you know what, if anything right now, she needs the money. So I bought Contessa with squid, which I have been dying to buy and start. William refers to her as Vanessa with kid because he thought that's what I was saying at one point, but she is Contessa with squid. But now we will forever call her Vanessa with kid.
I've never even heard you say that.
Now you say he didn't hear me, but he did. But whatever.
Like, I've never said that, nor have I ever heard you say that.
Okay. Okay. So we have Contessa with squid, and then I bought the favorite, which is the little girl holding like the demon dog, because it just cracks me up. So I have those, and I have downloaded those. The other one that I just saw, there's a cross stitch store down south. Forgive me, I don't remember. They are doing a special pattern. One of them is by the Proper Stitcher, and I forget who the other one is, to help raise money for the hurricane. I did buy the fabric from Grace, the special hurricane relief fabric from Grace Note Fabrics. I don't expect it in anytime soon. It's this beautiful blue and green. And the only thing is that the picture shows that the variation, the gradient line, is more of a diagonal. I will tell you, I am secretly hoping that my piece, when it comes in, is not as diagonally. It's more horizontal. And that it's more blue than green. I know I'm being really picky because if it comes in the way close to where I'm wanting it, I will put my lavender and lace Celtic spring lady on it. And I think she's going to be gorgeous. She will be. My Celtic ladies are going to get started in 2025. So that's 4 new starts already for 2025. We don't need a bunch of new starts. We need to whip it down. Okay. That said, I have caught up on my Dancing with the Stars up until tomorrow, because tomorrow night is another Dancing with the Stars. And then I have caught up this weekend. I've worked really diligent on stitching in my spare time. Like, really because I haven't been feeling good. I've been trying to stitch. And it's also Beat the Mod and Whip Warrior, so I have to have my number. So like, last month I put up a whole whopping 0 during Beat the Mod weekend. So this weekend I was like, we're not having another 0. We're not doing that. So right now I'm over 3,200 stitches for the weekend. But it allowed me to catch up on my Dancing with the Stars. It allowed me to catch up on Survivor. Even the extra prompts on Survivor. I have been throwing up the extra video, usually like on Thursday or Friday, kind of going, okay, so gearing up for the weekend, here's where we are with recapping Stitching with the Stars and Survivor stitching. So you will see there's a lot of variation, maybe not as a huge amount of a progress, but a lot of variation. So now I'm down to really kind of trying to focus in on Whip Go and catching up my Whip Go board. We are really getting there. So believe it or not, the whip that will be my last, so either November or December's viewers pick is going to be Kay and Dennis, which, thank you. That works out. I know Kim, and but you got to figure in 2025, I'm going to do Whip Go where they're going to be a mix of either other Stitcher friends picking a whip, or I'm going to throw in a few other like random pieces that I, again, would like to get off my list or see some progress. So it'll be a mix of those. So Kim, when you're going to be on one of my squares for Whip Go, so when I call you, you can pick Henrietta then, because I know you love her, and she is going to be adorable. And yes, for somebody else, I think Kim may have asked me on Thursday night, there is a pattern of a monkey, and she's wearing this big flower fancy bonnet hat. I have that pattern. I will apparently have a wall of crazy animals doing humanistic things, which I think is hysterical. I don't know why, but I love that. Okay, so we got all of that. What else did I buy? That's it. That's all I bought. That's a lot. Okay, so now we're 20 minutes in and you haven't seen a lick of my stitching, but I have to apparently do this one-handed because my big girl wants petted. She's driving me nuts. Are you the guard dog? Oh. How do you not love this nose? She's such a good baby. So, hopefully, okay. All right, Mama. You gotta let me do this, okay? Okay. So, I threw out, sadly, I was dumb. I threw out my notes on my prompts. I just know that maybe I'll remember them as I come across items. Okay, so first up, in my bag by Needle and Bones, Tanya. If you don't get her bags, you are missing out. She has some mad sewing skills. And her hardware, like her zippers, slide like butter. Oh, and yes, I am going to the Jingle Ball. I am torn. I kind of want to do the Tiny Modernist little gingerbread house that's 3D, and I'd kind of like to take Stacy Nash's gingerbread house needlebook. Can you tell? I love gingerbread houses. I can't put them together worth a darn. In fact, the only time I've ever tried to put one together, it was when I taught at Michael's, and I ended up using a glue gun. So there's an odd fact about me. So, okay. So we're doing the Stitchingly Murder Mysteries sale. I am the lady of the manor. I know. I carry that part well. We have a small, I call it a team, but we have like a little stitchy chat with there's about, well, now there's like 8 of us, I think, in the group, which is great. I'm not faulting. Originally, it started off with, it was just 3 of us, and that way we would cover all the parts, and we would be able to kind of compare notes. So we're getting it's kind of fun. Like, so I'm almost caught up. I know. Blow your mind. Me almost caught up and current with the Sal. Who the heck am I? Okay. So you picked your own colors. There was like, and stuff. And so I waited because I wanted to see what they were. And anyways, I ended up, I'm keeping with, this is a self-dyed piece of Ada. Looks to be an 18 count. Hang on, let me take care of the dog bells. Okay. Okay, so I went through and I pulled some random flosses, fancy flosses that I had gotten when, was it Fire Puppies closed? I think so. And this is just a piece of self-dyed Ada. I wanted a kind of beachy themed. So far I'm keeping with that. The only thing I did add the white. Because they reminded me of daisies, and daisies are white. So I have one more line here, and then there is a quote. It's only part of the quote, and I don't want to stitch the quote until I know what the whole quote is, in case I don't like the words. Because I'm funny like that. I think there's still time. Like, we're only 2 weeks in, and I think it's like 6 weeks. 6 weeks in. 6 weeks long. So there's plenty of time to join, and like really and truly, it was quick stitching. And even the other piece of the border that that line that I'm missing, it shouldn't take me that long. It's not seriousness. Okay. So one of my stitching with survivors, and and I use it for Dancing with the Stars too, piece, and I'm trying to use this whenever I can. It's one of those pieces, if I can plug it in for a prompt, I do. So it is my Epic Oz. I actually got to show my friend Erin this today, and she finally realized that it is for her, and because we had Kelly Flores' memorial celebration of life today. And so that's another reason I'm just kind of feeling funky. It's still hard to believe. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. So I did start the Cowardly Lion. I think I am going to go with the two witches. I do need to... I think Linda will fit over here with still a small border. But I think it'll be enough. Glinda is obviously wider than the Wicked Witch. But the other thing is the Cowardly Lion is kind of chunky. I mean, he's a little bit wider. But I don't want the Wicked Witch next to Dorothy. Like, no. Witch, please. I know. I'm way overthinking it. I know I am. Just let me be. Okay. So, we got the Cowardly Lion started. His little feet there. So, are they evenly spaced? Well, okay. Technically, these three are. Whoops. These three are. The Cowardly Lion, I think, is a little closer. But, look. Whatever. Okay. So cute. I'm just glad that the Tin Man is effing done. If you know. Was not happy. Okay, what is this? Oh. Okay, so, for one of my prompts, the extra for Survivor, did I use the Santa Mermaid for it? Or did I just pull it out because I want it done? This is one of the pieces that I'm counting, like, pushing to get it finished this year, because it's so close to being done. Like, literally, it's just back stitching. So my goal is... my goal is to do 2 strands a week. Because I hate back stitching. I love the way it looks, don't get me wrong. But I hate doing it for whatever reason. But here's my Santa Mermaid. You guys have seen him before. He's on a self-dyed piece of Ada that I love him. So I did put in another row of the scales on his legs, on his bottom. But then I came over to the fin. I don't know if you can see it. And I started working on the detailing on the fin. Because that's all that is left. There is no reason this is gonna... This project is not going into 2025 undone. It's not. Will it be FFO'd? No. No, because we all know I don't really FFO anything. Will he get FFO'd? Yes. Because, here's the thing. I want a whole wall of beach themed stitching. And he is Christmas and beach themed. And he's just glorious. And I really hope that the designer, I did message her, I really hope she does a Mrs. Claus. Because the pair of them together would just be... ugh, chef's kiss. It would just be everything. So I'm still holding my breath that she is going to come out with a Mrs. Claus. And if she comes out with a Mrs. Claus, I will immediately kit that up and start it. I do have another piece of fabric that matches this. And so she will go on that. Because. Oh, there's so much more. There's so much more. I was like the ADHD queen of stitching this week. Okay. So, I am stitching the 4th of July rules. I started this on Flag Day with Stephanie. Stephanie has finished hers. I have not. Am I okay with that? Yes. Do I wish I could afford that frame? God, yes. Is that going to happen anytime soon? Nope. Nope. Will I treat myself if I get the job at Wayne County and they come in over 6 figures? I may just do that as my celebration. Not gonna lie, I might. I love this piece so much. I am using all of the called fors. I think I'm actually using... I'm using a 32 count light taupe fabric. Although their pictures make theirs seem a little bit more greeny yellow than mine is. Mine seems to have more of a pinky undertone than theirs. Am I mad about that? No, I'm not. Do I love it? Yes. Yes, I do. And oh my God, I got in the 3 pinwheels, which was my goal. And I started on the flowers. Now, ironically, I'm missing my green. I know I had the green because I used the green up here. Where's the green out of my bag? I don't know. I don't know right now. Will I try and find it this week? Yes, because in order to keep going on the next section thing that is here is like the little leaf, like above. And so my hope is to finish the rest of this section. And then I only have 3 more sections to go. They don't take that long. It's just sitting, it's just like remembering to pull it out. So I usually try to work on it at least 1 day a week for at least an hour. Okay. This is my car project. When I'm in my car fist. It's a hand-me-down stitch from Candace K. Love it. I won it from her when she was passing it because she didn't want to work on it. It goes perfectly well for my friend Taryn. And so it will be a gift for Taryn and Brandon. And we're making some nice progress on this. This is another one that I'm, God willing, it will be done this year. There's no reason it shouldn't be. I am just to the point where on the M, that all I have to do is fill that in, so that makes it really nice. Then I'll come over and I'll do the E, and then last I'll go up here and do the sunflower. I love this piece. I really do like it. I may stitch it again for myself. I don't know. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not. I love this piece. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to stitch it again. Not at this point. Not in any time near future. Maybe in the year 2050,000. I don't know. Not now. Okay. In this bag, normally when I'm organized, is my Disney cell. This is, okay, so the base of this is the Clouds Factory Epic Princess cell, which is like the Princess Disney movies. Okay. Well, some of the movies that they're saying are like some of the women, I didn't realize that those were princesses. Like, when did they become princesses? I don't know. So, then, she no longer sells on Etsy. Her name is Yvette. Yvette had a store on Etsy, and she was selling some of the other movies to add in. And I was like, yes, please. Bought every single movie she owned, or that she charted. Okay. Then I joined the Clouds Factory group online or on Facebook that is just for this particular sale. And somebody changed the colors on the castle so that they look like Maleficent. I love me Maleficent. I love Maleficent. So, to tell you that mine looks like the Clouds Factory one, probably doesn't. This again is a piece of self-dyed Ada. It is a restart. I restarted it the beginning of this year, I think, end of last year. And I love it. I may have to frog every single thing that I have put into this line of characters. Every freaking character. And I want to vomit if that is the case. Because on my pattern that I got from Yvette, Mickey is in the middle. So I centered him on the castle. And I followed the I don't have any mistakes on this, right? But I think that they go over too far, to the point where I started Donald, I got Daisy in, and I started Donald, and I think that the little swirl that comes down to do this, the columns, I think will pass through Donald, which means for sure Donald comes out, but it seems weird not to put Donald and Daisy together. And on this side of Donald, on my pattern, is actually Chip and Dale. And then there's 3 characters that come off this side. Three or 4? I don't know. I think 4. 4 more characters that come over here, including Goofy, Clarabelle Clown, Cow, who is supposed to be Goofy's partner, but I don't know how that works out because she's a cow and he's a dog. I don't know. Now I am fine if I can make it work where Donald is fine. I will put Chip. I'll just add Chip and Dale over here. That doesn't bother me. I'm just hoping that I don't have to rip all of them out, because I will cry. I'm sorry. I'm struggling with where the camera. And then there's supposed to be fireworks above them. It's how it's charted. But if I I think Daisy is okay, but I think Donald is going to have to come out. So then the question is, do I take Daisy out too and throw Daisy and Donald both over here to balance out? Because that column is supposed to be between this swirl and like here. So it's very evident that Chip and Dale cannot go over here. It's the question of, does Donald fit? And if Donald doesn't fit, do I at least have to frog Daisy so that they're together because they're supposed to be together? But then again, Mickey and Minnie aren't together. Pluto's in between them. These are the things that cause me to stay up all night, because I overthink shit. So once I get them in and the little swirls down so that I kind of have an idea of where things will play out, I think Mulan is going to go over here, and then Yvette is supposed to be charting Fantasia for me. They'll go here. So then the question becomes, do I have enough space over here for a 5th row? Well, what would be a 4th row, and then the 5th, then I would know that I would have enough to put 2 columns over here, which is what I'm hoping, what I'm secretly hoping. Because if that's the case, then I will put in Winnie the Pooh up top and Peter Pan. Because Winnie the Pooh is my favorite, and then the kids, when they were little, always watched Peter Pan. I mean, to the point where we wore out VHS tapes of Peter Pan. And we even wore out a CD of Peter Pan. I didn't know you could wear out those, but you can. You can. We did. Okay. In here. This was... I used this for one of the Survivor extra prompts, which was stitch on something that was part of a series. Don't pay attention to my backs. Actually, this one you could. This one's not too bad. Usually my backs are a hot mess. That one's not too bad for me. That's actually pretty good. Okay, so we finished Saturn. We put a ring on it. It's Saturn. Now we're working on Neptune. once Neptune is done, I have one more planet. I did find out. I posted in the climbing. This pattern is by Climbing Goats Designs. If you are looking for space themed patterns that are realistic, like true to is true to life. I mean, that seems really weird. They're very accurate. Like, she uses NASA pictures to chart her patterns and stuff. So they're very accurate. I love that. So the stars are not random. They're not random. I didn't figure, knowing her with the time she's charted everything else, that they would be. And when you print out the actual pattern booklet, I loaded it into the final page with everything in it. I loaded it into my pattern keeper, so I don't have that information. But when I if you pull up her actual pattern booklet that you get sent when you purchase this, she does walk you through the different constellations. So that's very cool. So after Neptune is done, we will just have these two little bad boys here. The meteorite comet, which I'm going to do mostly in E940, and then this little rock here, and then all of the stars. The stars I am planning on doing in E940, so they'll glow in the dark. So that's also a WIPGO goal. And I'm really and truly pushing to have that done by the end of the year. Next up, the bane of my freaking existence. Well, okay, one of them. Monopoly. Monopoly got worked on because, one, it's a WIPGO goal. Two, I worked on it for Stitching Survivor because it was... Did I work on it for was it Stitching Survivor prompt? I don't think so. It was a Stitching with the Stars because Eric Roberts was eliminated, so I owed it. Did I just owe it those stitches? Probably. So it's a WIPGO, and ideally this would have been a finish this year. I don't see that happening as much as I would like it to be. So this is definitely going to be a top priority to get finished in 2025. So the community chest square was giving me a hissy fit. I don't know why, but my chest is just, okay, so I got frustrated. So I was like, well, screw it. I'm going to move over. So I did income tax. So the other income tax one, the other one I think is it's luxury tax. So luxury tax will have the base clef on it. So I still owe this more WIPGO stitching. So my hope is that I can get all the way over to here. This, instead of jail, will be the practice room. If I can make it there by the end of November, I think that's good. I think we'll be sitting. I think at that point we'll be sitting well. I don't think it will. I don't know. I'd like to tell you, I don't know. It has one more chance. Well, it's got the pull that I'm working on now for WIPGO, and then it'll get either called for November or December. So I'm hoping to get two sides completely done by the end for WIPGO. My goal originally was to have it finished. Again, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I'm just taking that pressure off of me. Okay. So one of the Stitching Survivor prompts was to stitch on your oldest WIP. Because one of the girls had said that she thinks that this year is the year of the older players, that they're going to win it. I hope she does. I think that would be fantastic. It would be awesome. Look, I don't really care who wins it. So Jeep Van Gogh is one of my oldest. One of my oldest that I started around the same time as a periodic table, but the periodic table has gotten quite a bit of love this year. Jeep Van Gogh has not. So it was 100 stitches into this project. I love this because coming up here, you'll see, once I get this, you'll see the 7 slots of the Jeep grill, and that will just be glorious. I still need to add the bottom fabric. Don't judge me. All the blues, all the blue. So that's exciting. There's still more. There's still more. We're getting down there though. We're getting there. Not much more. Okay, so then let's stitch on something that you haven't stitched on this year. I have a few of those projects, but one of the projects that I was hoping to actually see way more progress on is my Modern Folk Embroidery sale, the Fruits of Plenty sale. I think this was from 2020. I think it's 2020. Don't judge me. Okay, so I ended up putting in my stitches in here in the center square. So every time I pull it out, that will be my starting point. I am over 50%, so again, I had hoped to have this done this year. It's obviously not. It will, come hell or high water, get done in 2025. I'm just, and it's one of those that every time I pull it out, I look at it and I go, God, that's pretty. But it's because I'm working on gifts, and this one's not a gift. It's not. I tend to grab those pieces that are gifts or are for the kids first. So, okay. So the other one was, so the top score getter for Stitching with the Stars was Joey Grazide. And Joey Grazide in my world was Stitch on Something with a Flower. So I partnered him up with what I affectionately call the Pickle Sampler. And the Pickle Sampler is from, it's actually the cucumber sampler from FLosstube Embroidery. But again, I call it the Pickle Sampler because it looks like pickles to me. And you don't have a jar of cucumbers, you get a jar of pickles. So I just feel like it was a lost opportunity in naming this. It's not extremely huge of a piece, which is kind of nice break considering everything else I stitch on is ginormous. So my goal was to put 250 stitches. I think 250 stitches into it. So I ended up finishing the jar lid. I am using a conversion that Susan from Keepsakes down in Ohio did for me, and I am stitching it on a piece of 32 count Over the Moon Belfast linen from Color and Cotton. I love the color. I'm a little surprised that there's not more modeling on it, but it's so pretty. I don't quite understand what these, and it's not the only pickle that has a big white chunk in it, so I'm not sure what that is. So somebody could help me out. Maybe it's garlic. I don't. Maybe it's supposed to be a garlic clove. So this is also a gift. This will be for Jasmine when it's done. Okay, I only have one other piece. I lied. I worked on the French horn as well, and then I have one other piece. So I actually did work on the French horn. The French horn is still owed 1,800 more stitches for Whipco. This will be a gift for my son. So I may take, excuse me, it's got like 14 different shades of gray. It's all the shades of gray. He has a concert on Thursday night, so I may take this with me to stitch on while he's playing. What's nice is, in general, it goes fairly fast because it is still chunks of gray. It's so that'll be good. Yeah. So for Whipco, to catch up all of my Whipco pieces, I owe the French Horn 1,800 stitches. I owe Monopoly 900 stitches, and I owe my son's Christmas stocking 1,000 stitches. And then the Planet Cell, honestly, I'm gonna count it done except for the stars. The stars, I'm not gonna worry. Like, I can cross off my block before the stars are done. The only other piece that I worked on, and I have worked a buttload on this piece, is Kay and Dennis. And anytime I can fit in Kay and Dennis, and I figured it out that, I think I told you guys last time, that if I stitch roughly 330-ish stitches a day, I'll have it done by the end of November, and that's Kay and Dennis. And so far, I've kept mostly up with that. I'm a little bit behind. I just hit 60.01%. So I think I need to up it. I think I recalculated, and in order to have it done in 45 days, if I include today, I have to stitch like 400 stitches a day. So this has really taken up quite a bit of time to get that in, but it is super important to me that I have this done, even if it's not framed for Christmas, that it is at least all stitched. So again, anytime I can pull in and do Kay and Dennis for a prompt, I do. So that is kind of where I am at my stitching. I do have, today is the 13th, so we are starting Jacques the Pumpkinhead Man out of the Keepsakes calendar. I don't know where I put him right now. I thought he was up here. I'm more organized than I thought, y'all. He's right here. So, here, I'll cover up that extra. Okay, so that's what we're starting. Jacques de Lanterne. We are actually calling it the Pumpkinhead Sal. Mr. Pumpkinhead Sal. I think it's Mr. Pumpkinhead Sal. So I am going to, I haven't pulled the Ada for him, but I have all his flosses. So I am hoping, okay, so he's slated to get started today. So I have to get at least 100 stitches in to call it a start. And that's where we're at. I don't even know what color it called. Oh, it says to stitch him on white Ada. Okay. It actually calls for a 14 count Ada. Oh. I'm having a rough day here. Oh, okay. So that's all of my stitching. Obviously, new prompts for stitching with the stars will start in again tomorrow. I am ready to go on it. I still have to stitch I have to start Jacques, and then I have to start, I have to stitch my daily stitches into Kay and Dennis. And that's kind of where I'm at. It's not, I mean, like, nothing I'm doing is wildly complicated, thank goodness. I do need to figure out if Donald's butt is gonna, if he gets moved. It makes me sick. I hate frogging. Like, I will do anything not to frog something. Y'all know this about me. Like, I don't hide my shortcomings. Shit, I fly them up a flagpole and with pride, usually. But, so this will go back in the, home will go back in the car, because that's where that stays. So, I don't like having all of these up here like this, but because we're in the middle of end of the year push towards projects and we're playing 2 different games and stuff, that's kind of where we're at with that. So Yeah, so last week Eric Roberts and Reginald Val Johnson went home. So that was Kay and Dennis got 100 stitches for Reginald Val Johnson, and Monopoly got 100 stitches for Eric Roberts, and then I think it was 250 stitches I needed for the Pickle Sampler. And then I will be honest with you, I don't remember who won what on Survivor offhand, but I know that I was able to cross those off my list. So again, tonight it's just kind of, I'll have that new start, and then I'll have Kay and Dennis that I'll work on, and then tomorrow night we'll start in with Dancing with the Stars, wherever that leads us. So if you have any questions, feel free to answer me. If you have any questions, you can answer me. If you have any questions, you can always message me or pop them down below. I'm trying to think, like, what else, like, really and truly, just, I'll let you go. It's been a long one, and I apologize. So remember, you are smart. You are beautiful. You are cherished. You are strong. You are loved. You are needed. You are wanted. You matter. So with that, I love you all, and I will talk to you next week. Actually, I'll see you later this week with the update on Stitching with the Stars and Survivor stitching. Bye, y'all.